Yo, what's up, guys? What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 3. Today we're talking about the butterfly effect. Hopefully you were paying attention in your primary class, because if you're not, you're going to feel very down for the next few seconds. You know how a butterfly changes from a caterpillar? No, right. It's a caterpillar to a butterfly. Yes. The caterpillar comes first, then it becomes a butterfly. After staying some days in some cocoon or something like that. I'm pretty sure I summed it up very well. My primary teacher would be proud of me. I did very well.
I'm sure you went to a school that had an English name.
I love Will's confidence on that. I love his confidence on that. Anyway, so today we're talking about people being butterflies. Do people change? Like, you know, we're growing up, you always go like, or as people get older, they're cementing, you know, the opportunities that they couldn't do when you're 16, when you're 14, when you're 15. Some things you can't do when you're young because you're poor. It's the life, guys. You are poor, very certain opportunities couldn't even come to your door.
Yeah, and you are laying it, because there's whatsoever, and some of you guys are even sleeping on the floor, right? And you guys are doing straw and beat
every day.
Cabbage feed. Yeah, and you're thinking, you know, now you're grown up, people going like, this person has changed, but no. Right now, you just have no the right to say. We actually start
You've
thinking.
You've got the resources now to be the person that
you want to be. Yeah. Like we start thinking, you actually start thinking you love church people, but little do we know that you're poor.
Simple.
Yeah, just poor. That's why every Saturday or every Sunday you make sure you're there. You're coming to court and you're saying, God, make a plan for me. And after the plan has been made, you're totally different human being altogether. So that's what you're talking about. So I think for this, I'll start with a story. I've actually there are 2 stories. Right. One to the female side, one to the male side. I have a female friend here in Zimbabwe. If she sees this and she gets angry, I'm sorry, but you know it's the truth. So she used to sing. I know those females who sing, they look good,
right?
Because she sing and she bless us with her voice and all that. And you know, me being me, small as I thought, I have a short thing. So I go there and jiggle at my story. Jiggle at Sivinasla. But boy, right now I have someone. So but take my break.
Wi-Fi on standby.
So we go through and she's a church person, man. Long dresses, not the wife material and all that. And you're thinking, Abanda wanna go read it. A few years down the line, it so happens we were related to the people in Harare.
Wait, what?
Stop. Listen.
We're not directly related. It's some of those family friends things. Yeah, so I was about to shoot my shot. I'm in the video. I checked out the story, CV. So we end up finding out we're family friends, the same family. So they go and they stay with her. Then you know, and then I eventually go there. When I go there, she's leaving. She's going overseas. Right. I get there and people are like, "Go here, we heard that you shot your shot here." I'm like, I tried, like, you know, naga. So you need to try something.
I had to do my part.
Yeah, and then they're like, it's a good thing. But have you seen the new version of the person? And I'm like, what do you mean?
She updated the software.
So this person is a live recording that I took. Another one. Our team took at a certain church.
Okay, this wasn't church.
No, not singing, preaching.
Okay.
And you know they're talking about do not post yourself naked. You don't need to show nudes. You don't need to dress in bikinis and all that. And then he Instagram, Sembona,
iPhone.
You know what? You were.
Oh, nice, man.
It's not like even the stuff is bad. It's not like the stuff is actually bad. No, like it's some good stuff. You're going, But then I feel like, but didn't you just take the same person that was saying, there's no need for you to find confidence in this.
Let us separate the message from the messenger. Yeah. The problem is that we take the message and then we associate with the message. This person has been sent to go and tell people this. I'm not the one who's saying this. I was told to tell you this.
No, but isn't it? What's this of then having the word hypocrite?
No, that's not hypocrisy.
What is it?
Right. You see, that's the problem. Hypocrisy is it is one thing for me to take something and say, listen, guys, you know what is right, you know what is wrong. Do what is right. Right. Just because I'm a thief doesn't mean I cannot tell you not to steal.
Not to steal.
Okay.
Yeah. So I acknowledge that stealing is wrong. I'm also struggling with stealing. Okay. But now you've stolen. Don't steal.
Don't get into my struggles.
Yeah. Now, the problem, hypocrisy is a totally different ballgame altogether because it is then pretending to be what you're not. Right.
Okay.
You know, the challenge with us nowadays is we want to take the message with the messenger,
right.
like what we say. But unfortunately, we're all imperfect. So meaning that there is no message that we're going to heed. Because you may come with a message and you're struggling with it. But like what Vu said, it doesn't make it wrong.
No.
So if I'm then now more focused on you as an individual, I will then miss the whole point of what I'm meant to be doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then as a result, when our messengers need help, we don't want to help them because we idolize them. Yet they're simply saying, hey, listen, guys, I was given this message to come and tell you. All right. I mean, guys, listen. So there's, we're told this guy calls his friends. Let's go pray, Machita. One of his friends, Tati Okapi. I thought this Kwame. And then after praying, right, the guy literally chops off the other guy's ear.
Slice and dice.
I mean, honestly, right, when I look at that situation over there, I always wonder. So, before they left, I think this guy was like, let me just carry my Okapi.
Just
in case,
in case
things go wrong. I'm ready.
Right? Yeah. And then the next thing, that's what happens. But now, later you get to understand that, listen, that guy was on his own course. All right? He was on his own path. And the stuff that they were teaching and whatsoever was all correct. Dude, these guys they've done demons and stuff before.
Fed people.
Yeah. This guy was there.
Yeah.
There was a time they were given powers and told Hambani. And they came back and saying,
You know what was interesting? Irrespective of where they were still given powers. Whether you believed or not, you still will obtain the power.
Right. Yeah.
Someone talks about the X to 10 fallacy. You can never judge how righteous someone is. There is no way. There is no scale of that. There's no scale of who's holier than the next person. So never judge someone's lifestyle. This way it's going because you don't know whether they are transitioning from a 1 to a 2, from a 5 to a 6, or from a 9 to a 10.
That's what, which is why when we get done saying it, listen, guys, on this side of the world, we then don't get to define certain terms where you say, "Are you saved?"
Yeah.
Because we don't believe that salvation is a destination whereby Sufikilan and you're saved.
Yeah.
All right. So one time the relationship is good.
Yeah, true.
And sometimes it's deteriorated. It needs help.
It's rough.
Sometimes I don't know if it's not there, but or let's say it looks like it's not even there, right? But I believe that change is a constant we need to factor in our equation of life.
As Thanos says, change is inevitable.
So change will come. Things won't remain the same.
That's true.
Change is coming.
So I think the issue is the question of this episode then becomes, how do you deal with change? When a person change, I'm not only talking about someone distant or someone who's a friend. I'm talking even in the same house, your brother, your sister, your spouse. How do you then deal with that change? And what if the change is also conflicting with who you are? How do you end that? How do you maneuver the situation?
So I'm a guy. Let me put it bluntly as it is. So it so happens that certain brother John is gay, and it's come out that he's gay, and he wants to dress like a woman, and he puts lipstick, right?
Okay.
And now the problem that and this is the thing, we are the people that have known John all along, and we've seen him maybe even playing for the other team, which is not the team that he's playing for now. But he's so determined in this team right now.
Where
right?
he is.
Yes. And if I'm to be prescriptive, the first thing is we need to love him the same way we used to love him, because it's just like one of us. A sinner who's fallen, saved by grace. Mina uyecheshe go isiketi sakhe akula ndaba. Right? Singamfaki izambia. Okay. He should be allowed to take part in Sabbath school.
Sabbath school, yeah.
Yes.
Moment of silence.
He should be allowed to take part in Sabbath school. And when the SS choir is getting up to sing, you should go and sing with them. The moment we get down to start prioritizing and excluding certain people, right? Then we're missing it, which is what gets us to associate the message with the message.
So you're saying that wherever there is a message, there's some form of discrimination that's coming with it.
I didn't say that. I said what I said. The way I said it. Yeah. First, let's separate the message from the message. Right. Number 2, let's all accept which is sonke siwasina. Songeni. For all.
But
No,
you know,
I for all, my teacher.
I get that,
Yeah.
but I mean, you know.
For all. Don't take it
Okay.
personally. For all.
Okay.
I actually have, like, how you guys are married. You probably get related to this. So recently, I had encounter with my friend. I spoke about it, I think it was the first episode or something like that. Where you've been friends with someone for 2-3 years, right? And then they come to you and they go like, Moses, I'm now bisexual. Now imagine you're married.
And someone
Comes to you and then goes like, you say change is the only constant we have in life. Vu, I'm not bisexual. Eden, I'm now bisexual. Or make it worse, I'm now playing for the other team altogether, which means you do not qualify.
until you're out.
You've been knocked out.
I'm sorry, I know we're team accept everyone, but I mean, we started this on the basis of a contract where we are both on the same level. So if you've changed, that means we've
of
also
changing
yeah.
you know? Because this one is simply changing the whole equation.
Exactly.
That's the
It's
whole
not balancing it
equation.
anymore.
Right. But
if you watched Friends, the old Friends comedian, so Ross is married to his wife, and his wife ends up being lesbian. So he comes and he tells Chandler and Joey and goes, my wife is lesbian. Chandler and Joey look at each other, you know, that man goes,
okay.
that should be good. Because he's thinking
He's thinking more for him.
No, he's thinking Ross now is gonna have 3 dimensions.
He's now covered, man. He's now can go. You can now cast his name. He can actually get a second wife.
and still remain in the bounds of the contract.
But Zara Moses, this is the thing. I think the challenge that we're human being, right? And somehow the changes that will come, some of them will be for the good, and some of them we not necessarily agree with, right?
Yeah.
But then when the changes come, then we somehow have to find a way of adjusting. You get what I'm saying? Right now, we have displayed that we're not ready to adjust, because if one of our friends comes to us and says, listen, the thing is that I'm gay, somehow we're not ready for that person to come and sing with us in the choir. Well, I don't know why, but then that has to change, because we can change it. Right? So this is the thing. That is what Jesus would have done anyway. Come unto me. And Tina was saying, no, you go away. Totally contrary to the manufacturer's details saying, listen, man, I'm saying you should come, and you're telling others to go. Why? Right?
It ends up being that Paul situation. Paul, why do you persecute me? It's hard to kick against the God.
You see now? So let's hit it where it hurts, guys. The problem is us. The problem is not them. The problem is us. Because if we're friendly, if really we displayed love and care, then we'll be able to get up, right? And have these people.
But one thing we have to realize is not every time where the change sits well within our principles. I think to some extent we're kicking into that.
Yeah.
How then do you act that out where you still need to create a friendly environment where we sit and we're still comfortable with one another, but at the same time reject who you part of who you are.
Right. Let's bring it home, my guy. Let's bring it home. So who is a broke guy? Literally, we broke and then finally he gets to be part of this circle. But then this circle needs to drink 1 or 2 items, right? So who is first of this mazoe all the time, you know, in the bar. There's the mazoe guy, and then finally they mix his mazoe with a dash of whatsoever, you know, and it tastes slightly better whatsoever. And next thing Uvu is in.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. He was not like that before, but now Uvu is like that now. Right?
Yes.
And this is the new Uvu. We have finished Jack Daniels, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So now, how then do we handle it? Okay. And maybe now Uvu chaya, bro. Before Uvu really gwala, we balega, hey, because with police, like I tell you, bro, you're pulling what in blind will trap you to come night, and you can afford the lawyers. Yeah. So what I'm getting down to is that fine, things may happen, but we always want to make sure that we don't put ourselves in situations that will make us people that we do not want to
be.
Yeah.
Because there's as much chance of being by Moses as simply trying it out, my guy. So to manage that risk, we eliminate the trying it out part, right? Because you might try it and like it. You wonder.
And you wouldn't, but I continue.
I actually think like what Vu is saying, by beholding we become changed, right? So I think it's now on us more than it is on the other person. You see, you can't go to a bar with your Bible and hang out there and say, I am going to change them. The odds are against you. You can't go to their place and want to give in your rules at a place which already has its own rules. But if you call a drunkard to your end with your people and your rules, over time they also accept what is in that household. I actually like TK once said it, if I'm not mistaken, in the supper school class, where he was saying that if there's a street kid and that street kid is taken in by a rich man, the street kid will not continue sleeping on the road and eating from the garbage, but they are going to start eating like the king that accepted an in. So I think that's where we have to then remind ourselves that if we're calling this person in and we're showing them the love, over time they become one of us. But vice versa, you will become one of them.
So I think that whole X of 10 fallacy thing stands pretty well. We need to realize that the only growth we can measure is the physical growth. How someone is growing mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it's out of our hands.
Zohar, my guy. I don't want to sound too churchy, but then the Bible does give us case studies, my guy. Oh, Adam, don't chow that either. Yeah. Don't eat the tree. And next thing you wait till they two, bro. Like listen, guy. I've been eating this thing in a right? And my guy, for over 900 years, Adam saw leaves drop to the ground. He saw people kill each other. He witnessed his own son being killed by the other son. Right? Something that he had never seen on the other side.
I just thought about.
Yeah. And I'm sure he was telling all the other people, bro, this is what used to happen, and it was like this, and it was like that. You know, tell you what, we've there are stories that we've been told here and there about whatever, right? About what happened during the war, and then Bafia Usu and stuff like that. Yeah. We're not there, but we can relate what happened. Huh?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and that's 900 years, my guy. So, which is why I say sometimes we need to know ourselves enough to say, I'm not going to try that because I might just like it, and it might just get out of hand, and I might lose myself for good.
It's like what you're talking about on the home. When we're talking about relationships, where you said, as much as you might want to deny that there's premarital sex, if we deny it, we're lying to ourselves.
Right.
But everyone has to be aware of the fact that the minute you begin, it's hard to put your handbrake on it.
It becomes very. It's possible to stop it. It's just not so easy.
Yeah, which creates a whole dilemma altogether.
Yeah, which is another topic for another day.
Another day.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm thinking on the whole issue of change, and I'm trying also to think on Ellen's point on the previous episode about communication. Do you think there are ways where communications can help us manage the change that comes in a relationship? And talking any type of a relationship here. Can open communication help mean, I'm assuming, the effects of the change, if positive or negative, in either way.
Okay. From what I understand, or from what I've seen, communication is an essential tool that should be taught from early stages, because then we get to know when to raise our voice, when not to raise our voice. We get to assess if this is the right time to talk about this, or this is not the right time. We get to assess if I'm the right person to talk about this, or I communicate this to someone else and they present it.
Okay.
I remember there was a time I really had a brilliant idea, but then somehow I felt the people I was presenting it to didn't get me. So I went straight to the chairperson, the one who was going to be presenting it, right? To break it down to him. He was a very busy guy, but then he gave me some time to say, okay, fine, listen, man, let me just hear you out. What do you want to talk about? And they went down to break it down. Hey, listen, this is what I see and whatsoever, blah, 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 blah. And then when he got to understand it, right, he spoke to his other quorum of people. And then when the meeting was called, I didn't even have to present it. He was simply breaking it down to the rest of the people. And the idea was executed. Now someone say, no, he took the glory and whatsoever. But hey, come on, man, the idea was executed. I remember there was a point in time when I also got some other idea. And then, fortunately, the chairman of the board also was asking, hey, listen, guy, what's this, right? And I'm like, listen, man, I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, oh, okay. Well, we've never done things like that before, but I think that would be a brilliant idea. When we literally got to the meeting and we're presenting this stuff, and the people started asking certain questions, the chairman took over to break it down, right? Because in that particular setup, in as much as I was saying the same thing with the chairman, it's not the same when the chairman says it.
Oh yeah.
You get that?
There's an influence that comes with it.
It's the same thing when your parents are telling you that, hey, listen, bro, I'll get wood. Right? And then when your friends are telling you the same thing, your peers are telling you, hey, listen, fool, bro. Now that's this local wins the same message, just different sources. Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes when the message is not coming across, maybe we need to change the source. But then it's a different thing now when I start thinking, how? Bruh? You don't want to snitch into the answers and you told the whole clan, because that's what we aren't.
Yeah. So I'm thinking on those terms, there's someone I met, I think a month ago, and they started telling me about a 15-year-old? A 15-year-old who started practicing.
14. It's a 14-year-old in South Africa.
No, it was in started practicing sex, and the whole family was panicking because apparently the older sisters and all the older sisters had never done it before, and who is she to define to start this whole thing at that age?
Or maybe they're claiming to have not done it. I don't see in a family meeting saying like, I started in grade 7.
So there's a whole. They then began having this whole. So the relationship between the daughter, who's the associate of victim here, and then the mother, got very sour, got very tense, and got very strained.
We call those growing pains.
Yeah, but it's, these growing pains are not coming with healing anytime soon, unfortunately, and hence, I this is just me getting to the point that I think the foundation of communication, that how we accept change and how we deal with it, has to some extent begin with the parents we live with at first, whether they be biological or non-biological. But the environment you grow up in sort of like has to help you detect how you deal with change.
As Moses, you're bringing another dimension, because the biggest scam that has ever been run in this world is that of parenting, bro. Because even the parents themselves sometimes don't know.
They don't know, yeah. You're winging it.
Yeah, they're experimenting. And let's not blame them.
Yeah.
Because we're all trying to get instructions from the manual.
Yes, that's true.
And sometimes we see ourselves in these mistakes that these people are making, right? And we're trying by all means to have these people different from
what we
us,
did.
Right? And somehow in the communication process,
there's a breakdown.
Yeah, we lose each other, right? And somehow parents will try and be friends with their children, and then the children don't let the parents become friends with them. All right. Magic sense, because the parent wants this, right? And then sometimes when the parent gets to be the friend, right, they get start hearing other things like, you guys did what, right? And really, it's not possible to keep quiet because it then makes you the careless parent. All right. And then we want to give the children freedom, but then we don't want to make them free to do the wrong things. Say, right? So I want to, it's a catch-22. So because right now we're talking to young people, we want them to be the ones that initiate a better relationship with their parents.
True.
Zwan, man, let me put it down. This is my proverb. I created this one. It is the duty of the strong to take care of the weak.
Yes.
Now, the strong is not necessarily the parent. The strong can actually be you, the kid. Who sees that, listen, my mother is angry right now, but how about I wait and then we can talk about this maybe next week. You are the strong one. All right. Sometimes you are literally the weak one and you're sulking in your room and whatsoever, maybe because you have actually the moment you sulk, then my mom's like, no, bring it on now, right? And then when you stop sulking, so like now it's my turn to sulk, right? Or you don't want to eat, no problem, man, don't eat now. When you want to eat, it's like, hey, wait, bruh. So you're not eating. Yeah, but now this is the thing. You are the people, you are the generation that has got the rights, that knows how to read, that has been exposed to the internet. Now, the thing is not to be abusive about this thing, but to help now build, because we don't have much time with these people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's the reality.
So I think the bigger call is on everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to make sure you have the skills to be able to read a situation and know when you should say what and when you should say who. Because if you fail to do so, the relationship crumbles, and it's not because of the other person only. It's also because of you. There's a song, the secular song, How I Know This Song. Anyway, by the guy called Teddy Pedigrees, and he says, all I've ever wanted is 50-50 love. 50-50 love. It's so good when somebody loves you back. You know, when you love somebody and somebody loves you back. When both of you are putting the same effort.
Right.
And the day I'm thinking, when we're talking about effort, effort is determined by capacity.
Right, now you're talking physics. It was okay all along, right? And it moved now to physics.
No, what I'm saying is
that's physics, man.
You have to be able to see someone's capacity to see if they're putting the right amount of effort.
The moment we measure people to people, we're missing the point.
Yeah.
Because there's someone who put in so much effort and then went to die on the cross to display that effort. Right?
Yeah.
So when we see now how much effort has been put on us, we should then be ready to pass on that effort to the next person.
Yeah, it's true.
Right. The problem is that we then fight it and then become so strong and we don't want any weak people. Right? And then we then distort the whole equation. Right.
Yeah.
The song, there's actually a Christian song called I Then Shall Leave. Yeah. I then shall leave. Now, when the words to that song are a sermon on their own, but then it simply says, "So greatly pardoned, I'll forgive my brother."
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So you realize what has been done for you, and you pass it on to the next person. Because when we look at each other, right? I may not see that Moses has pardoned me. Moses, what did he pardon? I've never even said anything to Moses. So right? But then stop and think of what you've done, and then see what the manufacturer has done for you. When I'm building out with Tina, very but there you are, moving. Yeah.
I think a couple of companies saying similar thing. Abba Father. There are those who walk this journey in pairs and some by themselves. It's up to the duty for those who work in pairs to strengthen those who work by themselves. It's an issue of saying at the core. I think Christianity comes to the core to say it's always your duty to better in a relationship.
Now, which is now the same thing when it comes to this so-called thing, peer pressure, when peers are talking to each other, right? No, your mom did that to you. Never, man. What she did was, at that point we should fix it. Because if we are telling our friends that, hey, bruh, it wouldn't be good for you to be going for so long, not talking to you, having such a sour relationship with your folks, right? How about you ask them how best you can fix it, you know? Right.
Yeah.
Coming from the peers themselves, it changes the trajectory of.
Of where this goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So, change the source. Same message. Change the source. Yeah, I'm coming from a background where we teach people, right? And my philosophy says, listen, man, let us teach the people, and then the people will teach themselves. I remember learning geography, and my geography saying that if whenever there's a problem to solve, whatever question comes, the first solution is educate the people, right? And I'm sure right now on the COVID-19 case, we have got the health officials are doing their part. At the apex of it, when this thing gets to where it's supposed to go, the educators will teach the people in school, and the people in school will take it home.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
I think that's how we fought cholera. It was cholera outbreak.
Right.
Yeah.
The students were taught what to do, and they went home, and now they're saying, "Mom, I need to wash my hands before I eat," and all that.
Okay, so sorry to take you guys back to the topic. So what you guys are saying is people don't change. They just show who they are according to conditions around. For example, we're saying that the way you can receive a message coming from someone else is different. So are we also saying that the conditions around you then make you who you are at that moment in time?
I think if we make the coefficient of change 0, the equation will be wrong.
Maths. All right. All right.
There can be the coefficient can be big. It can be small, but change is there.
It has to be a numerical value.
Yeah, it can be 1, or it can be 0, and the change is not the change is 0.
The change is approaching 0.
It can be a symptom.
A symptom.
So we're saying it's safer for you to be around the right.
I think from what we've discussed, in all cases, those who are going overseas or those who are, it's where they set themselves up first.
Yeah.
That if I was to go, there's a cousin of mine went to Australia. The first thing the person did when they got there was look for a church. And then they realized the church of their liking, the closest, about 35 k's away. But unlike Zimbabwe, see, where 35 k's is like 5 soup courses and that, and eventually get there.
Country park.
All they needed to do was going to a train early in the morning, 30 minutes early, and then they're at church. Just about 30 minutes, they'll be church.
Okay.
And another case where one of them went to Germany. And they realized around the area I stay there is no church. But then they made a decision to say, you know what, I'm okay with online church. I'm okay with sitting at home and doing nothing about it. Eventually they grew detached from church. They grew detached from those principles they were taught growing up. And now the person is going close to 2 years without having different, and they feel now normal. It's now normal. But this one comes back and goes like, wow, I really miss church. I really miss home church because they were used to it. They kept on cultivating. I personally think our parents or whoever teachers growing up give us the best they can. It becomes our duty to see which right habits to pick up from them. And I think this all falls to yourself.
It's your responsibility.
It becomes your responsibility at the end of the day. Change, yes.
It's possible.
I would say actually like to change full statement. I think there are 2 constants. Your decision and change.
Right. Now we just got an econometric model, right?
Okay, I think I'm signing out. We're talking about that.
Because this is the thing. The moment we take out the you out of the equation, then I'm making a mistake because you're going to be blaming someone else.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You are the one responsible for the decisions that you have made. Right?
Yes.
If you choose to sleep when others are working, you go on. Right. If you choose to make yourself a better person, do that. All right. But at the end of the day, you will be called and made accountable for the decisions that you
have made.
All right.
Yes.
For some stage in our relationship right now for our baby, we choose what they eat. But then to show you that this person is independent, right? Sometimes they choose not to eat what you've chosen for them. They spit it out. And sometimes you even grab her tongue. Because I don't want to eat this. Right?
Yeah.
And someone said to me, that's the opinion part of it. And apparently, the more children you have, then you got more moving particles in it, bruh. And everything is deciding which way it'll go. And then to some extent, you then put in some reasonable force. But then at some point, these people get to make their own choice. And they are responsible for the choices. Yes.
It's your habits make you
and when you choose to inculcate those bad habits,
comes with personality and character. So I think on that note, you make sure you subscribe and follow.
Make that change.
How about you get 2-3 other people to also subscribe, and let's see how this goes.
Definitely.
Actually, how about you tell those other 5 people to also find their other 5 people to also subscribe, and then we see how this goes.
We'll come up with a math equation for that.
Alright, guys, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, comment, see whatever you want to say.
Thank you so much.
And and if you have any topics you think we would explore or enjoy exploring, put them down in the comment section. We would definitely follow them up. See you next time from me and the guys. Peace out.